You apologized to repair the distance. But the next sentence may be asking them to erase your discomfort. That is the part most people miss.
The apology itself may be sincere. You may mean every word. You may understand what you did. You may feel embarrassed, guilty, or scared that the relationship has changed, so you say sorry.
Then you wait. No answer. A few minutes become an hour. An hour starts to feel like a decision. And suddenly, the apology is no longer the only thing happening inside you.
Now you need to know what the apology did. Did they believe you? Are they still angry? Are we close? Are we okay? And that is where a repair attempt can quietly change emotional jobs. At first, the job was accountability. I hurt you. I see it. I am taking responsibility. But a second job can attach itself almost immediately. Please tell me I am not losing you. Those are not the same job. And when they get mixed together, the other person may hear more than the words, sorry. They may also feel the urgency underneath them. Research on apologies suggests that sincere apologies can support forgiveness and can communicate that the relationship matters. So this is not an argument against apologizing. The problem is not sorry. The problem is what we sometimes ask sorry to accomplish in the next 30 seconds. Think about a very ordinary conflict. You say something sharp during an argument. Later, you realize it was unfair. You go back and say you are sorry. You explain that you were overwhelmed. You say you did not mean to hurt them. So far, you were trying to repair. Then they stay quiet. You add that you really need them to understand where you are coming from. Still quiet. You explain one more time. Then you ask whether everything is okay. Then you say you hate when they shut down. Now, notice what happened. The conversation began with your behavior. It slowly moved toward their response to your apology. That shift can happen so fast that it feels like the same conversation. But emotionally, it may not be. The first question was, can I take responsibility for what I did? The new question is, can you make me feel safe now that I have taken responsibility? That does not make you manipulative. It makes you uncomfortable. And discomfort creates urgency, especially when silence feels like rejection. When you care about someone, uncertainty can feel unbearable. You want to close the gap. You want to explain enough that they finally see your intention. You want a sign that the relationship survived the conflict. So you move closer to the problem. More words, more context, more checking, more repair. But the other person may experience that same movement very differently. They may still be angry. They may need time to understand what they feel. They may not trust the apology yet. Or they may simply process conflict more slowly. Or they may be avoiding the conversation. You cannot diagnose the reason from distance alone, but one thing can still be true. If you keep increasing pressure for a response, the pressure itself becomes part of the interaction. Relationship researchers use the term demand withdraw for a pattern where one person pushes to discuss or change an issue, while the other pulls away from the discussion. That pattern does not mean one person is good and the other is bad. It describes a cycle. The more one person feels distance, the more urgently they pursue resolution. The more the other person feels pressured, the more they may withdraw. Then the withdrawal confirms the first person's fear, so the pursuit gets stronger. And here is the uncomfortable part. An apology can enter that cycle wearing the clothes of repair. You can be completely sincere and still be using the next sentence to chase relief. You can say you are taking responsibility while also needing the other person to quickly prove that your responsibility worked. That is the midpoint of this whole problem, because once you see the hidden request, the question changes. It is no longer, how do I apologize well enough to get the right reaction? The better question is, can I take responsibility without controlling what happens immediately after? The first hidden request is reassurance. You say sorry, But underneath the apology is a second message. Tell me I am still a good person.
Tell me you know I did not mean it. Tell me this does not change how you see me. Again, that need is human.
But the moment the other person has to comfort you before they have processed their own hurt, the center of the repair can shift.
Now they are managing your guilt while still carrying the impact of what happened.
The second hidden request is speed. You apologize today, so part of you expects movement today.
Maybe not full forgiveness, maybe not closeness, but something. A softer tone, a reply, a sign.
The problem is that responsibility can happen in one moment, while trust and emotional safety may move on a different clock. Forgiveness-seeking research also suggests that repair can involve more than verbal apology. Restorative action and caring behavior can matter too. In plain language, sorry can open the door. It cannot always walk the whole relationship through it.
The third hidden request is agreement with your explanation.
You say, I was stressed, I was scared, I did not mean it that way.
Those details may be true, but an explanation becomes pressure when the hidden goal is for the other person to replace their experience with your intention. You can explain context without requiring them to feel differently on schedule. That is the line. Accountability says, I want you to understand me. Pressure says, I need your understanding before I can tolerate this moment.
So what does a more accountable repair actually sound like? Start with the impact you can honestly name. I was sharp with you. That was unfair. Then take responsibility without building a courtroom around your intention. I was overwhelmed, but that does not erase how I spoke to you.
Then make room for the response you cannot control. You do not have to answer me right now.
And finally, let your next behavior carry part of the apology, because repair is not just a perfect sentence. It is what happens when the same kind of moment comes back. Do you slow down before the sharp comment? Do you stop pushing for resolution when the conversation is flooded? Do you return later without pretending nothing happened?
Those actions do not guarantee forgiveness. They do something more honest. They make your responsibility visible, even when reassurance is delayed.
There is also an important limit here. Not every distant response means you created pressure.
Sometimes a person refuses communication. Sometimes silence is used in a harmful way. Sometimes the relationship has a deeper pattern that one good apology cannot repair.
You are not responsible for decoding every withdrawal or carrying a relationship alone.
The point is not to become perfectly calm, perfectly patient, and impossible to reject.
The point is to notice when your apology has picked up a second job, when sorry quietly turns into, please fix my fear right now.
That is the moment to pause, not because caring is wrong, because accountability becomes clearer when it does not require an immediate reward.
So after you apologize, ask yourself one question. Am I still repairing what I did? Or am I now trying to control how quickly they make me feel safe again?
That question can change the whole conversation.
You may still feel anxious. You may still want an answer, but you can let discomfort exist without turning every feeling into another message. You can take responsibility. You can offer repair. You can make space for their response, and then you can watch what both people do next.
That is a very different kind of closeness. Not closeness forced by one perfect apology.
Closeness built when responsibility does not demand immediate reassurance in return.
If hidden relationship patterns like this keep changing how you read everyday conversations, subscribe. The new bond is about translating the behavior underneath the words. Until the next one, notice the second job.